Hi, it's Alison from the Law School Toolbox. Today I'm excited to have Alison Bruhn and Delia Folk, creators of The Style That Binds Us, here with us to talk about professional style. So welcome.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, to start off, can you just give our listeners a little bit of background so they have some context here?
Definitely. So I'm Delia, the daughter. Background is from Alabama, but we both live in Manhattan now. I interned at Versace and worked at Barney's on the buying team. And then mom became a personal stylist. So she has been a personal stylist for 10 years. We were organically working together when I was at Barney's. And then we started separate blogs. And in 2018, we combined to create The Style That Binds Us. So The Style That Binds Us, we are public speakers, and our speech is about the transformational power of style and how to unlock your potential through your wardrobe and visual brand. And then mom has moved away from the one-on-one styling, and now we created a digital course where you learn everything you would learn working with her and more, which is called How to Find Your Style, Dress for Your Body Type, and Transform Your Look.
Awesome. Well, I am deeply fascinated by the fact that you're doing this as a mother-daughter pair. I definitely want to hear more about that. But if people want to learn more about you or reach out, how can they do that?
The Style That Binds Us website is the perfect place to go.
Okay, perfect. Well, tell me a little bit about how you guys became interested in this and why did you decide to work together?
I'm laughing because as we had some tech issues earlier, you saw one of the issues that we have to deal with often with mom not being so tech savvy.
Oh, well, it happens.
Yes. So how did it happen? So basically, when I was at Barney's and throughout your career, and especially in law, but I was working in fashion, and even then, sometimes you aren't creatively fulfilled in every aspect. And so I needed a creative outlet, something that was my own, so that I wasn't just living and breathing Delia 100% Barney's. And so that led me to start my blog. And so I wanted to interview the incredible designers that I was meeting while at Barney's and really tell their stories, because I felt that retailers were not telling brand stories, both digitally or in person. I also wanted to share how I broke into the fashion industry, starting from square zero of knowing no one, knowing nothing about it. And that will soon, by September, we will have digital courses about how to break into the fashion industry where I teach exactly how I did that. And so that was my blog. And then for mom, women kept asking her the same questions again and again when she was working with them in their closet, especially redefining 40, 50, 60. What does 40, 50, 60 plus look like in 2024 and beyond? And so mom, and also through the aging process, mom had a lot of questions. And so once she got those answers, I wanted her to share that with the world so that it could help other people. And so basically those were the concepts that then we combined. We realized that we would be stronger together. Mom at first did not want to work with me because she didn't want to be from the South. She was like, no, we have serious careers. This is a serious business. This is not some like mother-daughter shtick type of thing. Mommy and me. And at some point, she realized that we would be stronger together, that we can bring our experience and knowledge and we can reach more women. And so that is how we landed here.
Awesome. Well, many of our listeners are entering a professional workplace, perhaps the very first time, and they have no idea what to wear. I certainly did not. I grew up in the South, actually, in North Carolina. I had been in California for a number of years. I went to law school in New York. So I had kind of all of these competing ideas about what do you wear when you're working as a professional. Do you have any general advice for people who are kind of starting to answer this question? What should they even be thinking about?
Yes. So it's about, Mom, this was okay. You need to create a core wardrobe and that fits your body type and coloring. And then you need to be thoughtful when you're going to be client facing about when you're choosing your outfit, if you're going to be client facing, if you're going to court, if you have an important meeting or an event. Of course, keep in mind the suggested dress code of that particular firm where you're working. And in the field of law, business professional is always a safe choice.
Right. Definitely. And I remember it was kind of a funny story. I was in my first year of law school. I'd got done my first semester. I'd sent out, job applications,
Sure.
and I was on winter break visiting my grandmother in Atlanta, with my family, and got an interview. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do? I don't have anything to wear. I have to do this interview." And so I went to, I think it was like Nordstrom's or something,
Yeah.
like at the Atlanta Mall, and got this
Right.
personal shopper, and they were bringing out, outfits in like bright pink with like
Oh,
tassels.
no.
And I was,
No.
I was just like,
Oh,
I
my
don't feel like this is the right vibe for like a
no.
New York law firm.
Crazy. Or any
And
law
yeah,
firm. I mean,
That is I know. That's a good point right there is, be careful, of the people that give you advice. They
for
were
sure.
probably selling the spring trends or whatever it was instead
Yeah, I was
and
just like,
right,
it was actually very interesting. It was all like a lot of pastels, and I was just like,
right,
this is
well,
like
yeah, yeah,
December in New York City. Like this
yeah,
is, I can't
no,
walk
no,
into.
no, right,
Legally Blonde.
right,
It would have been straight
yeah.
out of Legally Blonde.
I think
Um,
the best advice is, um, understated and simple. And in the beginning, you need to play it safe. So I wouldn't walk into an interview necessarily in a red dress. I think I would go more. I usually say navy is universal color, it works for everybody. But the main thing is, let's say you need to get a dress quick, but you don't have a lot of money to spend. So that's fine. Just find a navy dress that fits your body type, that doesn't have a bunch of ruffles or anything distracting on it. And then go to an alterations person and get them to make the dress look like it's a designer dress. If the
mhm.
dress fits you perfectly, if it's not too big, not too tight, and it's the right shape for your body, and make sure that your shoes, they don't have to be designer shoes either, but your shoes are in really good condition. Make sure the skirt is not too short. If you're going to be sitting down, meeting with someone, try on the dress in the dressing room, sit down and see if, oh, I thought it was long enough. And then when I sat down, it was all the way up, halfway up my thigh. And because what happens is once you get one thing like that, then you're off your game, right? You're distracted. You're trying to fix your clothes. And then you're like, wait, what was I supposed to say? You messed up the whole thing. So the main thing is wear something that you're comfortable with, that there's nothing distracting about it, that fits you beautifully. And I would say I would wear some, these are too big. I would wear discreet, but a little bit of jewelry because it just kind of makes things shine and look nice. Understated makeup, make sure your hair looks nice, you know.
Yeah, I think it's not super
and-
mysterious, but I think it can feel mysterious for a lot of people who maybe just haven't had to do this before. And
Right,
so,
right, right. And I also think there are a lot of people that think, well, it shouldn't matter what I wear because I not want anybody to tell me what I'm supposed to wear, which I totally get. But I also know we're talking about setting yourself up for success, right?
right. I mean, the reality is you're definitely playing a role here, and that role
Yes,
is, young professional, not somebody
exactly.
rolled out of bed in their sweatpants.
Right. Wet hair, anything like that. Right. Exactly. Go in. Um, yeah. Make sure because also they listen to what you are saying much better if there's not something distracting going on.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's back up a little bit. What type of people do you guys generally work with, and what are some of the recurring challenges that you see people having?
We work with all kinds of women, but especially if it's related to career or interviews, or it can be someone who is going on their first interview, or it can be, now sometimes it's a Zoom interview, and that's really nerve wracking because that's all they see is just, they can just critique you the whole time. It makes people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Also, I work with authors when they're going on the book tours. We work with university professors who have been asked to give, make some videos for their department. And we work with mainly people who have people of substance, women that have a lot of good things going on and that they're not fashionistas. They don't want to be fluffed up. They want to figure out how can I present myself in the best way and make sure that I am using my physical presence to help me in whatever my goals are rather than sabotaging.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that is kind of a struggle for attorneys, particularly because they are walking into these scenarios where maybe you're in trial, you're in front of a jury,
Right.
you're in a meeting with a
Yes.
judge and people have
Right.
expectations and they're projecting things onto you. And
Yes,
I
they
think
are.
it's certainly obviously more complicated, I think, for women,
It
just to
is.
kind of walk that line of like what's
Mhm.
too much and what's not
It is.
enough and all
Right.
of these things.
It is. But also, I encourage people to, tone it down, polish it up. But also, if you have to go one way or the other, like Delia was saying, it's okay to be in heels and a dress when you walk into the courtroom. Because recently I had a young lawyer tell me a story about she felt so good and prepared. And then she got to court and she looked around and she looked at what she had so thoughtfully picked out and realized, I don't think I'm dressed appropriately. So then she was nervous and then she lost her bravado, and then she felt like she didn't do as good of a job as she had thought she would. And now she was nervous about the next court appearance.
Right.
So way,
No,
way ahead.
I can definitely relate to that. I feel like when I was going into court, there were certain outfits that were kind of my power outfit. And like I am not a fashion person, but I understood that I needed certain things to wear. And
Mhm.
so I had this one like pinstripe suit that had like a little like a very bright blue pinstripe. It was just like,
Mhm.
a little something, but it
Okay.
was very, very appropriate, but like a little pop. And I was like, I love that suit.
Mhm. And when you went into court, did you feel good?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I walked in like, I am, like, in charge of
Right.
things. I know what's going on,
It's
like,
armor. Right.
yeah, it was
Totally.
exactly
Totally.
yeah. Alright, well, let's talk about a few scenarios.
Okay.
So I'm a second career law student. I'm a lot older than most of my classmates. I am concerned about job interviews and summer programs, and if people are really gonna take me seriously as a lawyer, or are they just gonna see me as some old fuddy-duddy? Like, what can I do?
Well, the first thing to do is put age out of your mind if possible. And I know that's much harder, done than said. But um, think of yourself in your group in law school as a mentor because you've had all this life experience. Don't feel dated or frumpy because if you dress that way and if you feel that way and you use that posture, then you're just going to kind of disappear. And they're going to be like, oh, that older person that's in the class. But I don't think that law students are going to spend a lot of time going, look at the old person in the class. You
They
know what I'm
probably
saying?
have other
I think
things.
it's just like wear simple clothes. Again, nothing that you would get somewhere and go, ugh, maybe I shouldn't have worn my really cute big flower top, to this after work or after class, whatever, a summer associates type party type thing. Maybe I should have worn something a little more casual and everything, but just not so uh, playful. Does that make sense? I feel like there's a time for florals and lace and all those kinds of things, and certainly sequins and sparkly things, but they're not necessarily uh, for business. You still want to be taken seriously and err on the side of caution, but also don't wear frumpy clothes. If you put something on from your closet and you think, I think this might be frumpy, this might be like nerdy, well, then it is nerdy. If you even ask the question, don't risk it. You know, get some clothes that you feel good in, that you feel, there's a difference in being like old and frumpy and being like cool and sophisticated. I mean, when you think of all the law procedurals that we watch, Suits and Scandal and all those different shows, how those women dress, they're not, they're older and they're power women, you know? So turn it into a powerful thing rather than a not a good feeling thing.
No, I love that. All right. Well, my next question scenario, I'm coming straight out of undergrad into law school, and I look even younger than I am.
Mhm.
How can I start seeming professional without feeling like I'm playing dress up? And I can definitely tell you, as someone who looks younger than they are, this is a big one.
Sure. I've had people ask this.
Avoid wearing round toe shoes. Avoid florals, ruffles, and puff sleeves. Anything that gives a little girly vibe. If wearing your hair pulled back makes you feel older, then you can create your hairstyle around that. But sticking with tailored pieces and avoiding more soft, relaxed, youthful pieces.
Yeah, I've even had friends who started wearing fake glasses and things like that because
Sure. A lot of people do that for sure.
they
And I
thought it
think,
made.
a little makeup, a little, pointy-toed shoes. I know that sounds crazy, but anything that is a little girl look, on pair dresses. There are a lot, that's like when your waist is high. There are a lot of things that just signal to the person who's looking at you, little girl. And then there's some things that signal woman. It doesn't matter how you look, how tall you are, how short you are. If you're wearing, like a great blazer that has maybe a little bit of shoulder pads, even if you're in a t-shirt and jeans or whatever, you still look loafers, or like Oxfords, depending on if it's like not like a little girl Oxford, but there are some shoes that, are more grown up. And shoes, it sounds kind of silly, but shoes really are a big part of an outfit.
Oh, for sure. I had a pair of patent leather loafers that every time my friend saw me leaving the house, and she says, "You're going to a lawyer thing, aren't you? Those are your lawyer shoes."
Yes, exactly.
And they were literally
Yes.
like what I put on to go, networking at the bar association or whatever.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right. So our next question. I am self-conscious about aspects of my body. I don't necessarily love how I look in typical work clothes. How can I start feeling more comfortable but still looking presentable?
I'll take that one.
All right.
First of all, you need to know your body type. That's kind of universal. Everyone really needs to know their body type and the colors that work best for them, but especially their body type. Because
How do I find that out?
once you know your body type, then there's something called the ABCs of dressing. And that's accentuate the parts of your body that you feel good about. Balance, like between the top half and the bottom half. Let's say your shoulders are wider than your hips. To create balance, you would wear like a wider pant and nothing on your shoulders that is going to add width to bring everything more into balance. And then camouflage. Camouflage is just to, sort of take the emphasis and attention away from those areas. And so once you know those three things and you know your body type and then you know the colors that work well for you, then it's so easy to find a go-to look. Like for me, I have a waist and I have hips. Coco Chanel created that Chanel suit for women that had boyish figures. Up and down. They have no curves. But for someone like me and a lot of women, that cropped little tweed, jacket does not work. So you don't need to keep trying that on and trying to make it work. When you go shop, you see it, you're like, that's so cute for someone else. I'm heading over here to this blazer that I know the double-breasted blazer is the thing for me. And then after that, it's easy just to have the core pieces that go under it. So it's difficult until it's not, if that makes sense. Once you, can label those things like, oh, okay, this is my body type, and here's a list of things to avoid. Here's a list of things to go towards, and then you're off to the races.
I think that sounds great. I mean, I definitely one of those people who goes shopping. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And I'm like, it's probably not going to work. And I try it on anyway. And then I feel bad. So like, that does not work for me. Like, I know that that dress type does not work for me. Why am I even in the dressing room with this?
We talk a lot about that. We talk about that in our speech. It's called looking outward instead of looking inward. Oh, that's so cute. But 99% of women people don't stop and close their eyes for a minute and think, this is really cute. How is this going to work on me? And what do I have in my closet? And like you said, is this right dress? If you trust the person in the store, that's great, but you're not necessarily going to get the right answer there. You need to leave, figure out the right dress shape for you. And then for the rest of your life, you know exactly which dress shapes work for you.
Well, it sounds like I should take your course because I still do not feel like I have that actual knowledge of myself. I've tried a variety of things. There was a business for a while that a lawyer friend of mine started that was amazing because they would just go shopping for you and come to your house and bring you everything to try on and then just take it all back. And I was like, this is magic. Unfortunately, it wasn't a sustainable business model, But
and unless she knew your body type, every person's body type and colors and all of that kind of stuff, she might have had to take back a lot of stuff. I don't know, but you know what
they
I'm saying?
definitely they took back a lot. They gave me some cute stuff though. And then
Yeah.
for a while I was really into like in San Francisco, they had the in-person Rent the Runway store.
Oh,
So that
yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Because again, like I had no idea what I should be
sure.
wearing. And I
Yeah.
just go down and be like, oh, all that seems fine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately the pandemic put a stop to that.
Right.
And I had a store I used to go to, a pretty high-end store in San Francisco when I was first starting to work as a lawyer and had nothing to wear. And literally presented myself one day. I was like, I need you to dress me. And she's like, perfect.
Have much fun. Right.
We can do that. I was their
Yeah.
best, I was a good enough customer for a while that I actually did get some Christmas presents from them.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like I've gone through life and still have no idea what to wear.
Right. Right. Well, you got a lot going on. So don't
Uh,
forget about that.
Yeah, no, I think this is for so many people like such a big problem. All right, well, let's do a few more before we wrap up. So I'm a student. I have really limited funds, and I need something to wear to law firm interviews. Any ideas?
Many colleges, they actually have a closet or a wardrobe, an interview wardrobe that you can borrow from. So definitely ask and see if there's any options like that at your school, or maybe they could give you a stipend that you can use towards your interview attire. So what we recommend when you're shopping, timeless silhouettes that work for your body type, dark solids, clean lines. So we want this simple, timeless silhouette. Buy it. So when you're building an art, when you're building your wardrobe, it's like building an art collection. That's how we say. So basically you want to buy the best quality that you can afford at that time. We want less, but better. You don't need a whole wardrobe of maybes or, oh, this is only 200 and this is 400, 600. If you just chose that one $400 dress, you can mix and match and wear it in a million different ways. Consignment is how we built my Barney's wardrobe. So you can't go in there and check everything off your list. Unfortunately, that's more of a treasure hunt, but being thoughtful about just getting scrappy. So consignment is a phenomenal option. You could also do Rent the Runway and get it tailored to fit your body, like Mom said.
Mhm.
So those are a couple of examples. But if you invest in one of these dresses, the navy, the black dress, you can wear it and you keep it in good condition. You can have it for many years and you can wear it for both work and also other occasions. So accessorizing will be key in order to change it up.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the dress that Delia had her first interview in,
I still have it. It's in my closet.
it was a theory dress, right? And so, theory, has a, it's not inexpensive. It had the peplum on it. It's the perfect dress, very understated. And she still has it in her closet right now. And she's, 10 years out of college. So that's our point. If you get the right piece, that's that dress. It's always in your closet for, it might be a funeral. It's a meeting. If you can put on a different earring, you can wear it for a cocktail dinner with some strappy heels, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely have a few of those dresses, and thank
Right.
goodness for that, because I pull them out when I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go to an event. What do I wear? Oh, I can wear that. It still fits.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Before we wrap up, a question I think a lot of people often have. I feel like I have tons of clothes in my closet, but I never have anything to wear. What should I do?
Mom, that's you.
Yeah. Well, you have to do a closet edit, but you can't do a closet edit until you know your body type and the right colors for you. Because once you know it, then you got to try on everything in your closet. And then you will say, oh, now I know why I love this, because this is the right thing. I'm short-waisted. So that's why this top works on me. And then you try on something else and go, oh, now I get it. I'm short-waisted. So this is never going to work. It's not me. It's not that I don't have any style. It's that I picked a piece. It won't work for my body type. And so that's how you edit your closet. The things that are just never going to work. And then there's some things that used to work, but your body might have changed, or things that you just, like Delia was saying, you bought 3 of them in every color because you liked one of the pairs, but you're never going to wear the yellow pants, that kind of thing. So, and then once you do that, and some of the things need to be altered. One of the problems that people do is, they make all these piles and then they never go do it. I finally went today myself to get a few things altered that I had been having sitting in a pile, for several weeks. And you feel so good when you do it. But, for example, if it's a black pair of pants and they just never fit right, go get them altered. That's worth the cost, because when you think about basic black pants, how many times are you going to wear those? You're going to wear those over and over and over and over and over. So they have to be of somewhat good quality so they don't just fall apart. Because if they fall apart, you got to start all over again. And
Oh,
it sounds a lot easier to find a good pair of black pants that you like than it really is.
it is
So
hard. I
it is
can
not.
definitely attest to that.
It's like going to get a bathing suit or something. Like,
Oh,
I just want a simple pair of black pants.
don't we all aspire to that? All right. Well, we're about out of time here. Any final thoughts you guys would like to share?
I think just put your best foot forward. Think about it all. Think about, so I'll say this. So let's say you are going into an interview or you are a law student and you want to make a good impression for the professor, anything like that. Picture what that person would look like. Like, picture the lawyer that you would admire and go, okay, well, that's that's the way I want to look. And then craft your look around that. So in this case, it's outward instead of inward almost. It's almost like, what would a partner at a law firm look like? What is that ideal that I have in my head? And I'm going to figure out how to dress for that. Because then when I walk in, they can already visually see me in that role.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, remind us again how people can find out more about you.
The Style That Binds This website, and that's where you'll learn about the course as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining us.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Well, my pleasure. And thanks everyone for watching. And please subscribe so you don't miss anything. You can check out lawschooltoolbox.com and reach out with any questions.